Some men do not stop caring because they are cold. They stop caring because caring kept costing them too much. It usually does not begin with a fight. It begins in small places. A coffee shop table. A distracted nod. A phone checked one too many times. A conversation that never fully lands. He still shows up. Still asks how her week was. Still listens. Still pays. Still walks back to his car like nothing is wrong. That is the part most people miss. When a man starts pulling away, he does not always look distant at first. Sometimes he looks exactly the same. That is why it takes so long to notice. Because from the outside nothing dramatic happened. No betrayal, no explosion, no clear ending. Just small moments that land wrong. She is there but only halfway. Her attention drifts. Her replies are short. He says something real, and it passes by like background noise. He tells himself not to overthink it. Everybody gets tired. Everybody has long days. Everybody gets distracted. But there is a difference between being busy and being absent. And men feel that difference faster than they admit. Especially the men who do not complain. The men who keep things moving. The men who learn to swallow disappointment and call it maturity. So he leaves with that quiet crack inside him. Small enough to ignore. Sharp enough to remember. The real damage is never one moment. It is the pattern. It is being the one who checks in first. The one who plans. The one who remembers details. The one who keeps bringing presence into something that feels increasingly one-sided. He starts noticing something uncomfortable. How easy it is for people to enjoy his steadiness. How hard it is for them to notice what it costs him. There is a certain kind of man who becomes useful before he becomes understood. Reliable, calm, available, easy to lean on. People trust him with pressure, with inconvenience, with emotional weight, but they do not always stay curious about him. So disappointment arrives in ordinary clothes, an unread text, a delayed reply, a joke that brushes past something real, a conversation that circles back before he finishes his thought. Nothing big enough to confront. That is what makes it dangerous. Because when pain has no headline, it stays unspoken. And what stays unspoken gets stored. That is how disappointment changes a man. Quietly. He starts lowering expectations before he lowers his voice. He starts saying it's fine faster than he means it. He starts preparing for the next letdown before it even arrives. Then one night something small hits the wrong place. He is back in his apartment. Shoes by the door. One lamp on. Microwave humming. The room quiet in that thin, empty way small apartments get quiet. His phone lights up. He looks down already hoping for something warmer than what he has been getting. Something that sounds like care. Something that sounds like someone actually seeing him. But it is not that. It is casual. Convenient. Light in a way that suddenly feels heavy. Not because the message is cruel. Because it confirms everything. She still expects access to him. Just not responsibility for him. And that difference hits harder than it should. He reads it again. Then again. And all at once he sees how many times he made excuses for things that kept hurting him. Not abuse. Not betrayal. Just repeated emotional carelessness. That is the kind of pain that is hardest to explain. Because from the outside, it sounds small. Just a text. Just a reply. Just normal life. But inside him it touches every quiet disappointment that came before it. Every half-listened conversation. Every soft dismissal. Every time he offered something real and felt it slide off the surface. So he sets the phone down. And for the first time, not replying feels more honest than replying. This is where people usually misunderstand men. They think a man stops caring when he becomes numb. Most of the time, he stops caring when he becomes clear. Clear that effort without reciprocity becomes self-erasure. Clear that being needed is not the same as being valued. Clear that staying emotionally available to someone emotionally careless will slowly empty him out. It does not feel empowering. It feels sad. because part of him still wanted it to be different. He wanted the next conversation to feel warmer, wanted the next weekend to feel easier, wanted one clean moment where the depth he brought was met with the same depth in return. But disappointment has a way of sobering a man. He starts seeing everything without hope softening the edges. He sees how often he edited himself to keep things smooth, how often he translated loneliness into patience, how often he called distance space because the truth felt harder to name. And once that kind of clarity arrives, something begins to close. Not his heart, his access. After that, the withdrawal is not dramatic. He still answers sometimes, still keeps things civil, still moves through his day, but the energy is gone. He goes to the gym after work and says less. He takes the late drive home with no music on. He sits in his apartment with the TV running low, not really watching it. He lets texts sit longer, not to punish, not to play games, just because urgency is gone. That is the part no one notices soon enough. A man can look completely functional while emotionally stepping backward in inches. He still goes to work, still handles rent, still makes meetings, still gets haircuts, still says all good when somebody asks. But inside, he is reducing his investment. He is pulling feeling out of places where it no longer feels safe to leave it. And because he does it quietly, people mistake it for peace. They think he is less needy now, less intense, less complicated. What they do not see is that he is no longer offering the part of himself they kept mishandling. That is why the distance feels sudden later. It was never sudden. It happened over coffee shop pauses, over unread texts, over dim apartments and glowing screens, over small disappointments no one took seriously enough to ask about. By the time he seems distant, distance already feels familiar to him. Then comes the moment. Not cinematic, not loud. No slammed doors, no speech, just his phone lighting up in the dark again. He sees her name, feels the old reflex rise, then stop. And in that pause, he realizes something painful. He is not waiting for things to get better anymore. He is only deciding how much longer to pretend he still is. So he turns the phone face down. The room stays quiet, and for the first time the silence does not feel lonely. It feels accurate. That is when people usually get confused. They notice he is less available, less eager, less reachable. They ask if something is wrong. Sometimes with concern, sometimes with irritation, sometimes only because the old version of him was easier to access. But he struggles to answer, because the real answer sounds too invisible. Nothing happened. That is what happened. No single disaster. Just too many moments where he felt himself becoming background noise inside something that was supposed to feel close. Too many times he brought warmth and got casualness back. Too many nights where the screen lit up then dimmed and left him feeling slightly more alone than before. So he stops explaining, not because he has nothing to say, because he learned explanation did not make him safer. It only made him more exposed. So now he shortens his sentences, protects his peace, lets people call it detachment if they want. Maybe that is the saddest part. By the time a man stops explaining, he usually already knows he is speaking to people who only noticed the silence, not what created it. And that changes him. Because some men do not stop caring because they never felt deeply. They stop because they felt deeply in places that treated depth casually. That is why the withdrawal looks cold from the outside. But it is not built from emptiness. It is built from disappointment that stayed unspoken too long. A man does not always leave when he is angry. Sometimes he leaves when hope becomes more painful than distance. And when that happens, he usually does not make noise. He just gets quiet, then gone.